Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. It is the first game between Golden and Snovski here in the finals of the DSCL number 4 qualifier. Let's see, will we get the top seed when they get to compete in the DSCL Open? We have here in the bottom left, it is the yellow Zerg. He is Alien Invasion's Golden. Against his Protoss opponent in the top right, from Team Eastern Wizards, he's Snovski, and he's an upcoming GM Danish Protoss, who managed to bust through this qualifier, knocking out, among others, Grubby.
Yep, been doing really good for himself during the qualifications. We haven't seen him yet tonight, but that makes it maybe even more scary because, like you said, he's a GM from Denmark, and he has been doing really good. And Golden dominating against Eggam, but how will Snovski compare in this matchup?
Yep, of course it's a completely different matchup with PvC instead of PvT.
Of course.
I mean CVC. And yeah, I do sort of rely on Golden's solid mechanics and the game understanding to be able to sort of carry him to victory. So we will see where he will take us and himself. Still no gateway coming up from Snovski. He might actually be going for Nexus first because he has several probes queued up.
Yeah, he's probes queued up. He has more than enough minerals to make 2 gateways at this point, which he isn't going to do. So it should be a Nexus coming up, and the Overlord is going to scout it rapidly there. Though it's heading that direction, and even though there's a Nexus coming, we do have a pool almost finishing up already, and he could start throwing out some Zerglings and potentially do some damage with them.
Yeah, this was a very early pull, and it looks like Golden is saving up a couple of larvae, so he will be going for a quick attack, and he will be very happy to spot this Nexus. Fortunately for Snovski, he's sending on a probe, and he will be scouting this incoming attack from Golden. And as I say, he's only making 2 links. Is he gonna be adding on more? Probably not.
He's adding 6 links right now.
Yeah, but the gateway is at the top of Snovski's ramp, so he's going to be having the Chrono Boost Zealot out in order to, properly defend against the incoming attack on his Nexus. And yeah, Snovski sees the early links and thinks, oh, well, I'm going to have to defend in some way.
Yeah, I mean, with the gateway being positioned at the top side and the cybernetics core as well, there's going to be no wall off at the expansion. So it's not going to be an easy hold with one Zealot if he goes for the Nexus, and there are a significant amount of links moving across the map right now, and they could try and go for it. He needs a few Zealots to hold, but if he moves all of the Zealots down, then the links can also run into the main base, so he has to prevent that. So he needs to keep one of the Zealots at the top side of the ramp. So it's a little bit of an awkward situation here for Snovski, where he might actually lose this Nexus.
Yeah, this is a very difficult situation for him. Moving down the ramp will of course allow his links to run by, so he has to be extremely careful with this. Of course, just sending one Zealot will guarantee it will just be killed, and Golden is wasting no time, not even going after probes. And well, probes is what Snovski's kind of gonna have to pull the fight here. Golden moves away from the Nexus, tries to dart into the main a bit, but doesn't overextend, and he lets him go for some reason. I'm not sure why. He's keeping the produced links, so this seems like a slow ling all-in actually, which is something I haven't seen in a long while.
Well, with the lack of energy on the Nexus on the Mothership core for a little bit, he cannot throw down a Nexus cannon. And there's only going to be 2 or 3 Zealots with a Stalker.
So many links.
These links are going to do a lot of damage, and I think
32 links. How can he possibly fight this? Phone overcharge is way from finished. Fighting with the probes is just not a good idea. He's losing all of them. More links being rallied in, slow links nonetheless. Zealot gets warped in defensive pylon even. He may be able to hold the ramp, but the natural is completely forfeit. Including all the probes that were mining there. If he just pulled those back, it would have been in a lot better shape.
Natural is done and dusted, and he should be able to hold his ramp, especially with the pylon in the back. With the potential, he cancels it now, but he can just wall this up, right? But this is still a lot of links.
Yeah, and he kept adding them on, and now he's finally going back into drone production. Looking at the worker stat, the Protoss is actually somewhat ahead, but of course the Protoss doesn't have a natural anymore, so he's in a pretty rough position. Finally, gas being added on for Golden. I don't see any reason to not go into a Baneling bust at this point. He has so many links.
Well, he is adding gas, which is nice, and there's no way Snovski is going to expand right now. There's just no way. Yeah. And look at this, he's even trying to bust his ramp, and
Yeah, but that's
I
not
don't
gonna
think he
work
should
though.
do that. I don't think he should do that. That's risky, but there's no expansion coming down for the next 2 minutes at least with all of the links on the map.
Yeah, and Snovski is actually making stalkers, which are of course good at kiting slow links. But in a straight up fight against speed links, they're rather weak. So we finally have Warp Gate finished up for him, but he's in a pretty tough pickle. Like, he's getting a Stargate, but he can't do anything. He's lost complete map control. Just a really, really rough spot for him.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I mean, the links are poking in once again. Gesundheit, Jeroen. And one of the stalkers are gonna get picked off, but this is not being cost efficient for Golden at all. And now a sentry joins the fray, and I don't think he should be poking up there.
Yeah, I guess he really wants to put his opponent under pressure, and well, he has every right to, because this way he keeps his opponent somewhat in check. He's getting link speed and added on a ton more drones. Let's look at the unit type. He's almost doubling his opponent's worker count in this short time span. And, just this aggression keeps Snovski going up the ramp every time and again. And now he picks up a stalker even, which is certainly worth his troubles.
Yep, and the Nexus does go down. The links are gonna spot this and prompts an instant reaction of 14 more links. And without the Nexus finishing, there is not gonna be a Nexus cannon, of course. And there's just one sentry. And if he floods the map with links once again, it's gonna be very difficult to hold. He needs the oracles for that, but I think the oracles are gonna be for harassment, right?
Yeah, you don't really fight with your first oracle. You try to keep it hidden. It is currently rallied to a place where, of course, links should be going and having vision. If he sends it down to the south, most likely an Overlord will spot it. And yeah, there the Oracle comes into vision. Engagement with the Stalkers and the Force Field. The Zealot not doing anything. And Golden is just sort of maintaining map control, just not giving his opponent a single breather. The Oracle got spotted because of the sloppy rally, and now spores are on their way.
But these Stalkers are actually going to take a lot of punishment from these links here. Like, only a few links, but they already took down one Stalker, more links flood in, and he's going to have to evacuate the expansion once again. Luckily, the Nexus finishes, so he can throw down the cannon. He does just that, and maybe that's a saving grace here, but he's losing a lot against links.
Oh, he almost ran into the main there, at least he could have. And finally, Snovski will be able to finish up the wall off at the natural, but his Oracle is literally just sitting at the third with 1 kill, and I'm not sure what else it has done. Not a whole lot, that's for sure. And Golden is, he's in a prime position, really. He just keeps the pressure up, forces his opponent to react, forces warp ins. He won't give his opponent a single breather, and it's so good, he's just throwing away links because he can. He can afford those. It's not a problem.
Yep, not a problem at all. It's 3 bases against a just established second base from the Protoss player, and I think Snovski is actually happy he has the natural off right now, but these links are still trying to bust.
Keep coming.
They just keep coming, and it's really a strange game for Snovski so far. You don't see this that often.
Yeah, and just with links he managed to pop the second photon overcharge. And now Snovski has to make a choice. Like, what is his actual tech path going to do? He's got 4 gateways, and he's going to be getting a Twilight Council. Maybe the good old win behind Dark Shrine method is being applied here. But Golden, he doesn't give a shit. He scouts. He sees there's not that much of a threatening army for Snovski. He just goes back in, tries to trade somehow, and secures more drones at his third. He's just in such a good position here. Even getting a macro hatch in his main.
Yeah, he just needs to start adding these drones though, because Snovski is gonna catch back up a little bit. His economy is actually looking decent off of the 2 bases, and even though he hasn't been able to do that much in this game, he is getting a decent army out now. The last few trades were good for him. There's gonna be roaches though, and maybe that's gonna be what he needs. There's not a lot of temperatures to go through. Only 3, I think, and they've used most of their energy.
Yeah, I feel that the big job here for the Roaches is to simply bust the front. He needs to get through that barricade so his links can stream in and surround everything. You could do the same with Banelings, but Banelings are of course close combat units, so they can get force fielded out. And
do you think it's an idea to bust the rocks, maybe?
Oh yeah, you could, but not with Banelings. It's just not worth it.
No, but with roaches.
Yeah, for sure. Why not? I mean, it gives you more surface area. Snovski's made his plan knowable. He's getting a Void Ray. He hasn't. Yeah, this is his first one. He's getting Blink and +2 attack. So this will be a 2-base all-in based off of that, unless he decides to secure a third, which is also his option. But he's added on so many gateways that I would be surprised if he tries to take a third, because he should know that he's really far behind economically, even though Golden has for some reason decided to take a fourth.
Well, if he does, then the Overlord is going to spot it, because the probe headed towards the third. It's right underneath it, but we have a huge engagement here with the Lynx being forced to out a little bit, but a lot of Stalkers still catching a lot of the fire from the Lynx and the Roaches, and he's busting his way through here, Jeroen, it looks like. He's getting decent rates.
No, that was a pretty good engagement actually for the Protoss. The force fields were decent, and the +2 attack, even though it hasn't helped yet, but still it didn't go as bad as I suppose it should have. However, being out on the map though is a very, very vulnerable spot to be in, and at this point Golden is literally just floating, flooding Roaches and Lynx.
Yep.
And
even some Queens.
Yep, and this army is kind of stuck. Like, he can throw down a time warp and maybe force field the ramp. I don't think he has enough energy. Golden having this, the peace of mind to actually focus down the sentries in a fight like this. And yeah, Snovski is once again forced back to his base, and I think Golden will just bust through here.
Yeah, but I think so too. I mean, Golden doesn't have to trade favorably. He is way up in supply, way up in bases. And look at this, he's just killing everything. There's no more sentries, and GG from Snovski, and that's a pretty long game that was over.